Welcome. Are you feeling welcome? Am I doing a good enough job in making you feel welcome? Do you feel do you feel like you're getting all that you need? Do you feel like you're getting ROI for the time that we're connecting? Do you feel like I could be doing a better job? Do you feel like you could be doing a better job? How have you been in exploring a stuffed animal that's made to connect? Do you think that a person needs to hit rock bottom before they become no longer addicted to cigarettes, porn, or Larry Chang videos? It's incredibly addictive. I get it. It's a bastion of positivity. How did I get to where I am? What are we talking about in this video? It takes a certain level of embarrassment to realize we can never be embarrassed ever again. It takes a certain level of exposure. We can realize it takes a certain level of I got embarrassed, that actually wasn't that bad, in order to then connect to we can explore and try things without fear of failure, fear of embarrassment. Because what is porn? What are drugs? What are other alternatives? The alternative is to mitigate risk. The alternative is to not ever experience any level of embarrassment. This is what happens when you attempt to sell something. This is what happens when you attempt to do a cold open, is you have no EQ, your emotional quotient super low. Once you attempt to try to do a live stream, once you attempt to fail forward, you now then are thinking that confidence is something that you can borrow. How white and black is that, where you think you can borrow somebody else's confidence? Oh, if I just stand closer to Larry Chang, I can be more confident, where I myself am feeling negative about myself. Chime in, or bolt, you pick, because what we're talking about is embarrassment. How can you hit a rock bottom, a local bottom, power bottom, where you got embarrassed, now you're able to max yourself? Self-maxing. You got embarrassed because not you, but somebody else made an accusation. Now you're embarrassed. Do you take ownership of it? When you wonder, hey, how can Larry do these videos so enthusiastically? It's me plus one other person here. His vibe is he's talking to 50,000 people. He doesn't get 50,000 views in a week. You see, I've been here before where product market fit has not yet arrived. You see, I've been here before. People thought I should be embarrassed in starting a business that wasn't getting any traction. My first embarrassment that was ginormously embarrassing was having to tell people in my hometown that I had dropped out of the University of Illinois. And what was I doing? I was selling cars in the University of Illinois, Naperville. Having to sell cars in your own hometown is signaling to the world, my safety college of the University of Illinois, it was too much for me to handle. Ryan, saying, awesome hat. Thank you, buddy. We're talking about an embarrassing moment, which was having to drop out of engineering school and not slink away and go hide in a corner. It was to fail in public. Now I'm going to go sell cars in my hometown dealership. You don't go wait on tables. That's actually a pretty good job. Working at a dealership for hours and hours, that's a way, way, way worse job. Futz Bucket 1682. Nice name, buddy. Nice name. Asian cowboy. It's specifically Chinese cowboy. It's, if you're going to be accurate, an Oriental cowboy. Because remember, if a rug or a lamp is high quality, it's not an Asian rug or a South Asian lamp. It's an Oriental rug. What happens when you're on a really, really, really good train? Are you on the Long Island Rail? Are you on a fucking Amtrak? No. You're on the Oriental Express. That's how you know you're riding in luxury. What? Too much confidence? What? Don't feel good about throwing a homosexual Hail Mary next? What? You got embarrassed because I'm answering questions? And you're going to pop in and say, oh, is this a person that I can bully? I feel as if I can semi-relate. I dropped them out of high school and had to start all over, but I'm semi-successful now. What happens when you're temporarily embarrassed is now your reputation died and now you can load and explode because humility, accountability, rational thinking, being able to admit, hey, maybe my ego is getting in the way. Because what is our ego? It's a dark angel sitting on our shoulder trying to say, hey, you're too good for this. You're too good to put that much effort into a YouTube live with a single digit number of people. You're too good. You're too good. Quit. Quit because you're too good for this. This is why not quitting makes you unstoppable. What's up? Cowboy says, what up? Cowboy says, what up? Cowboy says, enjoy being a moderator. Because when we, together, champion our past embarrassments in order to demarcate and plan future embarrassments. Whoa, did the Oriental cowboy with the Mr. Robot mask just say, let's plan to be embarrassed in the future? Because yes. Mr. Boston has chimed in to say hi. I have some innovations. I have some fears about your innovations. Future embarrassments. Have you ever tried to sell anything to anybody? I am selling something to you. I'm hard selling you on something that's $0. But have you ever tried selling to a person what you're going to watch me do? Because on Saturday, I wanted to call this video Psycho Monday. Buckaroo says, I enjoy the fact that you enjoy my hat. We're planning a future embarrassment. Why? Because we're practicing our EQ, our emotional quotient. I'm not going to be quoting Tim Chang because you don't believe in Tim Chang because you think that Larry Chang, Tim Teo. You believe that Tim Chang, John Teo, Larry Chang are one person. Tim Chang. quoting Tim Chang, he looks exactly like Larry Chang. Ditto, AI VCs, Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang, which is quoting Tim Chang. What if we were to practice our EQ, our emotional quotient? What if we were to practice our mental wherewithal, where we wouldn't have to pitch the fact that we have a limitless lithium battery. We would just sell our prototype or reprototype our prototype to go from making one to making 10 and selling 10, making 10 and selling 10, or making 2 to sell 2, versus being fake hardware deliverer. This is why everybody who's a VC says, oh, cool, you invented something? Great. Enjoy that one. Because Mike Arrington, we invented a iPad 2 to 6 years before an iPad got invented. He got jugaaded. Is that embarrassing? No. It was us understanding that jugad happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. What's jugad? Jugad is where a Jewish or an Indian person says, jugad my money? Jugad your money? I just jugaded your money via a scam call center. You see, I was embarrassed when I got jugaded by a person in the tribe. I'm in the tribe. So instead of saying, oh, I'm going to be holding Jewish people accountable for doing human things, because not all Jews are like that. Definitely not all Jews are like that. I said when I got screwed, I said, good for you. You embarrassed me, but that's okay. I will not learn next time. Michael Pools, on-campus marketing concepts, Michael Pools. Later, Michael Pools, continuing to do what he did, he went to federal prison. Michael Pools, Pouls. You can say that he is a Russian Jew or a Ukrainian Jew. Is there a difference? You see, I didn't get embarrassed when he screwed me out of money. Because of my dad giving me this advice, oh, you got screwed? Well, if you're not getting screwed twice a month, are you even important enough? Have you ever been screwed in business? Have you ever been embarrassed where after you got screwed, your company almost went bankrupt? Because later, we were selling credit cards for Oakbrook Bank, Richard Reeser, Oakbrook Bank. He decided to change the deal. He was a Ashkenazi Jew from either Ukraine or Russia. Isn't it just the same cabal? Because hat tip Richard Reeser, you won. You got my money. Was I embarrassed because Duck 9 was teetering on bankruptcy? Yeah, but I knew that he needed the money more than me. This is why I stole his URL that became my URL. Because Duck 9, we've taken on monopolies, we've taken on oligopolies. A monopoly is where you embarrass yourself by going head to head with a monopoly called Fair Isaac. They still have a monopoly. The US credit system is FICO score based. There is no other scoring system that is of any relevance, which is FICO scores. oligopolies, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. 3 oligopolies, all oligopolistic. Rayan has chimed in to say hi. Oligopoly. As promised, delivering. Hey Larry, says Rayan. You're embarrassing yourself by doing a $800 Bible. Couldn't we sell more $800 Bibles if we sold an $800 Mark McCormack book? What you're doing is you're analyzing and doing anal while having a closed sphincter. Now, I'm not saying that you should open up your sphincter. I'm saying you're stuck at 0, where you're analyzing at 0, other people at 0, you're 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is why this video is for you. Because mentally you think that you'd be embarrassed if you even tried. Mentally you think that you would die inside. Maybe I need to retell the Parisian story of me exploding the toilet. Maybe. But instead of me rehashing a Paris underground food doogie that was embarrassing, we explore our EQ, our emotional quotient. What have we done to try to become of higher IQ or higher EQ? There you go. Good job selling one Bible. You need to do that in person. It's called One Person, Two Bibles. So it's embarrassing to show up at a coffee shop in your city doing 2 Bibles. Listen, the police are coming. They're saying you're guilty of not being rich. You're guilty because this is a illness, it's an illness called I'm stuck at 0. The reason I didn't get stuck at 0 is I don't necessarily want to say I can't be embarrassed, but here's what's on the other side of being embarrassed, which is you're gonna die. And so being temporarily embarrassed, it kind of doesn't matter. And once you connect the two, I see it as clear as day, because people just callously throw away their youth because they think that they're never going to die, and that their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, that those decades will just last forever. Therefore, they don't have to go try at something that they may fail at. This is why I'm going to do something that I definitively will fail at, which is selling something to ugly fat women who are poor. I don't talk to ugly women. Fat women hate everybody. Poor women who are fat, there is no way that fat, ugly, poor women would ever buy anything from me. That's why I'm going to do it. No. There's the owner of the goat that people believe is the goat, but in reality, the goat is the real goat. Thank you. I'm guilty of being poor. That is true. What? Temporarily poor. So true, we are going to die. So true. Oligopoly. Yeah, isn't that funny how, yeah. This is why we don't sell on social media. What are we selling? We're selling 2 Mark McCormack books, 1 Larry Chang, 2 books, 1 Larry Chang. Target market. I know rich people are going to want to buy an $800 book from me, because rich people just keep getting richer. being able to sell a poor fat girl who's also obese a $20 book for $10, that's going to be nearly impossible to do even for me. Why? Because I'm trying to embarrass myself. I'm going to try to embarrass myself. You see, there's a rule in making money. There's a rule in making money. What's that rule? It's never pitch the poor person. Also, never sell things to women. So I'm breaking two rules by and fat people. You want to avoid fat people, especially fat women. Because fat women have been told, hey, you're beautiful. Every weight is beautiful. Fat men tell themselves, I'm out of shape. I should be depressed. Fat women are currently being lied to. Why? Because women secretly hate other women. Let's go. Let's go. I know. I know. What rules are we making? What rules have we made up that don't connect to anything? It's just a rule that we made up because we're trying to avoid embarrassment. I care about everybody. Thank you for talking about your sexuality. I care. The only sexuality that we're talking about is my sexuality. I hope you find what you're looking for after your 10-second timeout. Embarrassment. Oh, perfectly on cue. Have you been honest about your inception? Like, how did you know that you were oriented that way? Because have you lied 5,000 times about how you know you are that way? Or are you too embarrassed to talk about it? Or are you lying to other people so that way you trick people to fondle your inside out vagina? Have you thought about that wiring? Because lies, embarrassment. Oh, I was born this way. Is that really true? Who was the first person that you were attracted to? I remember. Because every person who lies said, oh, I've always been attracted to old men. Really? 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 I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because I've never heard a person who is oriented that way say, I've always been attracted to people that are my same gender, 1 or 2 years older or younger than me. I've never heard that ever in the history. This is why when you give people a voice and a platform, people tell on themselves. People can't help but tell on themselves. Do you remember the poo story about the French Parisian apartment with the small piping and the small plumbing? Because something's wrong with a person who's tall and Chinese who absolutely needs to drop a deuce in a girl's apartment within the first 13 minutes of a relationship. Like, there's something wrong with that person. Have you heard a person say, hey, my friend, he's kind of hilarious. This is what he does immediately when he starts dating a girl. He does this before he dates a girl. Women dig it. Okay, what's he do? Well, he says, hey, can I use the bathroom? He drops a ginormous deuce. He doesn't upper deck her bathroom. That's rude. Okay, that's rude. Upper deck? That's bad. Bad, bad. I personally believe we lie to ourselves more than we lie to other people, which in return makes us lie even more to people. This is why once we begin to make ourselves, where the version of ourselves that is so amazing, we have to lie in the opposite direction, which is, aw, shucks, I'm not that amazing. That then is called DDSS. If you want to grab a pen, this is incredibly useful for no longer ever experiencing embarrassment ever again. You see, what you said, I'm going to pin because this is the opposite of stress. This is uress. It's a word I just made up. Maybe I made it up 10 years ago. It's the opposite of fake it till you make it. This is make it, make it, make it. This is me telling Ron, hey, I liked and subscribed. Will you like and subscribe? Will you like and connect with the hashtag that you already made fun of? You left off the hashtag that you're making fun of, which is betas who used to say I'm rich, then later, 13 videos later, you said, oh, I'm poor, because we're trying to do FAGR, fuck around and get rich. This is how to get over zero. This is how to get over yourself. This is how to set aside your ego and try something new. That's why we do fuck around and get rich. Think about 2 girls, 1 cup of knowledge. It's funny enough where you'll get a person such as Justin, I forget if it's Justin Khan or Justin's son, or Justin, it's a super twinkie banana dude named Justin. He's a Stanford gymnast. He's Stanford, he's Y Combinator, he's Larry Chang. He's one of the only triple threats of Stanford University institution, also YC, also Larry Chang. Justin. Anyway, Justin goes, I want to try to sell because I was at Stanford Daily doing sales coaching, fucking around and getting rich. What was the exercise, Larry, that you did at Stanford Daily? Because people don't want to be embarrassed. People don't want to be hung up on. I went to Stanford, so I didn't have to learn how to sell, Larry. Now I have to learn how to sell? Make it fun. Can you make it fun? I can make it fun. This is what we did at the Stanford Daily. We sold advertising that was print advertising to tech bloggers, technology press, tech writers, and tech outlets. Do you see the ludicrous nature of selling newspaper advertising to people in electronic media? Do you see how that's completely outside of normative behavior? You see, you can't fail when you're calling Mike Arrington, the founder of TechCrunch. You can't fail because Mike looks at the 650 number, 650-723 Stanford Daily, going, is Stanford calling? Are you guys offering me a board of trustees position? Hi, Mike. It's Stanford Daily. Would you like to buy some advertising? What? Would you like to buy some advertising in our school newspaper? Do you know what I do? Yeah, you write TechCrunch. I read TechCrunch. Do you want to buy an ad for TechCrunch Disrupt? How did you get my personal cell phone number? Are you going to get mad? Because Larry Chang gave it to me. You see, what we're doing is trying to get over embarrassment, because when I was selling cars at Village GMC, Village like City Village, GMC like Mike Van Eyten, I was just fucking around because I used to sell advertising at the Daily Illini, and I sold a lot of advertising to car dealerships. I looked ludicrous. I had to ride my scooter in the snow because I didn't own a car. I rode a scooter in the snow selling advertising in the wintertime. And it is not fuck around, find out. It is hashtag chapter 69, FAGFF. Boomer alert. Congratulations on having that many subs. Also, boomer alert, why don't you parlay some of those subs into submarine sandwiches? Let's fuck around and get at least me some free food, because your lip syncing thing, that was pretty funny. Why don't you parlay some of that Ron Lothar humor and turn your 0944 into a 0911, because a Porsche 944 is much better when it's a Porsche 911. Will you get the hashtag right one time? Hashtag chapter 69 FAGFF. DoorDash. Hashtag external API. Being embarrassed. Do you see how embarrassing it is for 6 Stanford graduates, 6 Stanford undergrads, to start a website called paloaltodelivery.com and then deliver Thai food, deliver orange hummus, deliver Chantal Grillon, which is a macaron cookie. 6 cookies cost about $30. Free delivery, because you bought 6 cookies for $30. If I give you free delivery, you might buy 24 cookies for a couple $100. You see, Stanford students, they could have been embarrassed because they're having to deliver food in their Porsche 911. There's nothing more embarrassing than a person who owns a Bugatti or a exotic Italian car who hits upon hard times and now has to deliver food. That's what Stanley Tang did. That's what the 5 other DoorDash founders did when they had a company pre-DoorDash, that was DoorDash, called Palo Alto Delivery. Palo Alto's in California. So you're getting it all wrong, but that's fine. So you're saying buying a Bible for $800 is more valuable than buying what they don't teach you at HBS would? I make far more money learning about business knowledge. You're doing what a lot of people do, which is you're juxtaposing money out with money in, which is actually not that surprising. Let me repeat that. Your head's so turned around that you don't know if the money's coming or going. This is why you don't want to be an empty vessel accepting somebody else's penis as a man, because you're talking like a woman. You don't know if you're coming or going. You see, you're making $800. So you can make $800 using a Bible, but since you obviously don't believe in Jesus, or else your head would not be on a swivel, sell 1 copy of Mark McCormack. Before that, sell... Oh wait, you're in Pakistan. Never mind. If you're in America, you could have sold a Braun power cord 7030458. In Pakistan, you're going to have to get over the fact that people are going to immediately see where you're from and say, I don't trust anybody from Pakistan or India. Also, kind of because, well, it's kind of accurate, right? It's kind of accurate. So you should do what I'm doing. So you should find some obese female who's fat and try to sell them $20 worth of stuff and then fail miserably and then tell us about how you got embarrassed because selling a fat, obese Pakistani woman who has no money, she'll never spend $20. She'll never spend $20. But then you'll have tried once versus theory, constantly commenting on my channel, comment. Maybe if I drop 50 more comments, maybe he'll hire me. I know what you're thinking. That's okay. I will never hire you, but hopefully you'll, no, actually I'm not even gonna say hopefully you'll try. Do you like the honesty? Oh, this is what you should do. Say thank you. So you should list something on eBay as your government ID name. There's no way that your name is Rayan Fast Buller. Just go with your Pakistani name. I'm going with my Caucasian name. It's Lawrence H. Chang, made even more Caucasian because the Oriental Cowboy is the #1 most Caucasian person in America, as studies have shown via 60,000 social media posts answering the question, who's going to teach Stanford CS183D? Who? Who's watching and not liking? That's not true. When you're a moderator, you want to really be careful when you're shitting in somebody else's foot. You really want to be careful as a moderator when you poop on somebody else's dreams. He would never hire anyone subscribed to the channel. Dwight, is your name Dina, who's pretending to be a man and you're a woman? Or are you a man pretending to be a woman? Oh, if I could just be Larry's woman, I could boss around people. Dwight. Right, Rayan, you're back to being a moderator. Time to moderate your own brain. Do you consider learning to fail applicable if it comes from different avenues? Instead of selling to fat women, getting the cage and being humbled. What? I mean, so getting hit in the face, that's like student athlete stuff, but here's the problem with that is your IQ drops dramatically from head trauma, and then now your brain's got inflammation. What you're trying to do is you're trying to do anything possible to try to ask for money. This is where asking for money is a more realistic exercise, which is this. Can you feel genius is about to happen? I can. And when I feel that genius is about to happen, that's a good thing, because every time genius is about to happen, I always know. something incredibly much more realistic that is just as potentially embarrassing. Larry, you're light years ahead of anyone I've listened to. Wow. We are wanting to just be a half a step ahead. Let's explore embarrassment. Let's explore getting better. Let's explore getting 2x better than you ever dreamed with no risk. Here's your embarrassing exercise. Think of this as Fight Club, not pick a fight and try to get yourself face punched in, okay? We're not going to get our faces punched in. We are going to embarrass ourselves by doing what? In any US city, as a Caucasian male or Caucasian male, we're going to try to say good morning to 20 people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And when some people don't say good morning, we say, I said good morning. And then we laugh because if they say good morning back, they want to fuck us, if they're women. If they don't say good morning back, they still kind of want to fuck us. That's why everybody wants to fuck me. Until I start to tell you, hey, will you buy me dinner, then a first class ticket, and then coach? But even then, very fuckable. Very fuckable. Thank you. Thank you. You see, what we're doing with saying good morning to 20 people is we're getting used to talking because public speaking in this kind of forum, it makes you feel embarrassed for me. I've had people tell me that they would be embarrassed if they were me. But then I looked at how much they were worth and I would say, do you know that in 1 month I make more money than the last 8 generations of your lineage? 8. I mean, technically it's 8 to 20, but it's definitely more than 5. 1 month. That's what's on the other side of you cannot embarrass me. You see, when I took a ginormous defecation and I evacuated all the food that I ate on the airplane, plus a little bit of the food that I ate in my connection in New York City, when I dropped that into her toilet, I had a contract with that toilet, which is, this is not a brick. This is a healthy Bristol 4. It's not even that much girth. The contract that I had with the toilet was I was cognizant of the fact that it was French plumbing. I know to not wad up a ton of toilet paper. I know to flush the solids first and then the toilet paper, because I get how a beaver dams up a river, right? By using not circular objects in circles, a beaver dams up a river with everything in the kitchen sink. This is why that toilet was trying to rebel. It was saying, I don't want to eat all that shit. I'm going to back it up. When that embarrassing thing happened to me, my soul left my body. I was literally beside myself. I understand that phrase now. Because it wasn't just being able to take a dump with attractive women that were just outside of the door. Imagine an airport lavatory bathroom. You know how like your knees are up against the door? Because the room is super small. It's a Parisian bathroom. This Parisian bathroom makes the airport lavatory look like you're in first class. Because in first class, the lavatory, it's actually pretty big. This Parisian bathroom, it was right there. Plus the door, it was cardboard thin. It's not one of those American doors. It's not like one of those Mountain View doors, which is next door to Y Combinator. There's this door company, it's called Interior Door. Those doors are in effect soundproof. But if you're taking a ginormous bowel movement with a door that's paper thin, the paper thin door causes you to say, you know what? It's okay if there's a fart sound. I'm pooing in here. There are people who dump in public bathrooms, not letting themselves fart due to embarrassment. There are people who are in a prison bathroom. There's a toilet in the middle of the room, and most people don't use it. Me, when I go to prison, first thing I do, kind of like the first thing I do with going to a girl's place. You see, a holding tank has 40 prisoners, and there's a bathroom right in the middle of the room. What I do to assert dominance, because everyone's like, oh, look at the ginormous pretty boy. He just walked in. I stroll up, I casually eye fuck people, just taking a survey of the room. I pull down my pants and I just lay out the largest food turd I can. And then as it drops into the porcelain throne, I just eyeball every other alpha male that thinks that they're within 2 fingers or 2 egos away from me and my ability to drop a perfect deuce anywhere. That's where we all want to be, overcoming any fear of embarrassment. Why? Because counterintuitively, our ability to have the hot girl plunge that toilet for us gets us to realize the only thing that matters is us making small progress. What question would you like answered? Do I remember Engineering 145? Here's a better question. Did you make at least $100,000? You know what? Maybe that's 3 generations or all the years before 30. True story, female. Most people who are female and 30 will not make 100K total before they turn 30. So, did you make $145? Eager newbies gaining revenue. Did you? It's okay if you didn't. It's actually not okay if you didn't. And then when you have the embarrassment of, are you going to answer my pinned question? That's just showing you're time breaking. But you did one time do hashtag 26 days of Grok 4 ducking BK. So I would focus on DJing those 2 hashtags together and selling that class for $145. What class? Stanford Engineering Technology Entrepreneurship 145. You see, that class is open source. There is no trademark on technology entrepreneurship. Did Cal teach the same class? Yeah, they called it Engineering 245. You're not poor ass, you're retarded ass. And that's okay because you got embarrassed. You're not even using your real name. And that's okay that you don't use your real name. Because now you can try to make $145 because you said, do you remember Engineering 145? Like, how could I not remember it? I memorized lectures 1 through 20. Lecture 9, Cross the Chasm from the Right. Lecture 2, Fuck Around and Get Rich by DJing an external API. I know. By lecture number 2, I asked, how much money did your parents spend to get into Stanford and attend Stanford? What if you were to make that money back before lecture number 9? We're still talking about being embarrassed. So I was embarrassed when I showed up at Stanford. I was the only person who bought the textbooks because everyone else is like, bro, you're an idiot. Nobody buys the textbooks. I'm like, what? And I continued to bring all the textbooks every day because I was the only person to read all the books before I showed up to take a class that I was to eventually teach, because I was not going to teach a class. I was not going to teach a class that I have not yet taken. To avoid embarrassment. I'm in Chinese school. Chinese school is once a week. Will you try to make $145? Question mark. Will you try to sell a hot girl? So find the hottest girl that's way out of your league and get your sales pitch ready. You're not trying to sell her your vagina or your penis, depending on what you think you possess inside your pants or your dress. You're not trying to sell vagina, you're not trying to sell penis. You're trying to sell her on a 20 video YouTube series called Stanford Technology Entrepreneurship 145. If she pays you $145 and she does 14 lectures, you give her back $10 each time she does a lecture, therefore refunding all $145. Fuck yes, I could. But remember, if you're bringing your child, it was marked adult content. So why don't you be more friendly? Why don't you be more friendly? Why aren't you more friendly? I will help you moderate your own brain. Are you asking for it to be family friendly when you don't have a family? Because that would be very much on brand for Larry the Tomato. Do you know that Christian comedy? Larry the Tomato. He's a tomato named Larry. Make it more family friendly. We're solving the world's problems here. We're not trying to coddle the American mind. Oh my God, my references are spot on. It feels like all the world's information. It feels like all the world's information is just right here at my fingertips. The American mind, it got coddled. Here's something family friendly. If you don't study technology entrepreneurship, how are you going to make it not even for your family, but do you even know what's coming? What I say. What we're talking about is transferring temporarily being embarrassed in doing things that are outside of our comfort zone. Because you could try to vocabulary police language, or you could find some headphones and maybe take some notes because you're pretty good on hashtags. I get the feeling you're going to watch 50 more Larry Chang videos and in 6 months be exactly where you are right now, which is poor ass word policer asking me if I'm going to answer your question, not having the delay. Oh, are you on drugs? Because that's not very family friendly, because you being on alcohol, drugs is killing your eggs or your sperm, depending on whether or not you call your penis a vagina or your vagina a penis. Because that is incredibly family friendly because we're finally being honest with each other. Oh, it is delicious. Thank you for the starfish. I put a piece of trash on a starfish. It's a pink starfish. It's also pretty good for noise canceling. You're in a conversation, you're talking about cool stuff that you've come across on YouTube. Someone else mentions that they also watch Larry Chang. What is something that you remember from my channel? Good job. It's it's the whole thing. It's the word spelled out. Chapter 69 FAGFF. The reason that it's the two ways to do chapter 6 is hashtag CH6 period is my book, which I hid in front of everybody's face. So obviously I like to share chapters. Obviously I went to Chinese school on Sundays. This is where I got embarrassed by both sisters, both hot. We'll call the sisters Julie and Trisha because those were their names. So I'm in Chinese school and I'm in a class with Julie. Julie is younger than me. She is ahead of me in Chinese school, Julie Chang. She's also ahead of me in violin. She's a first violin. I'm literally playing second fiddle to Julie Chang. No, 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 Ron. You got to get the hashtag right one time, which is hashtag chapter 69 FAGFF. Being moderator, it means you first got to make $145,000. If you make $0, you don't get to be moderator. That's how you become a moderator. That's one of the ways to become a moderator. So instead of trying to moderate to stand closer to Larry Chang and to stand closer to the starfish, I think we've I think this is product market fit right here. Can you even tell that this is a starfish? Here we go. Here we go. It looks like the microphone is in the starfish's butt. You know that somebody's gonna lip sync synchronized lips for a starfish talking. You realize that this is what my channel is gonna get monetized to be, right? Because an AI starfish talking, genius stuff that I would say, it gets you past the, oh my God, this Chinese guy, he's so attractive. Oh, wait a minute. Does that make me gay? Because he's really, really, really good looking. Because when it's just a cartoon starfish named Larry the Starfish talking, and maybe there's two starfish. One is a little starfish with a cowboy hat, and then there's a pink starfish. Thank you for my pink starfish. Thank you. Because what happened at Sunday school, Chinese school, is I was literally getting it from both sisters. Julie Chang was a better student than me, ahead of me in violin. Trisha Chang thought that she had never been attracted to a Chinese boy before, so she thought she was going to roll some opportunities my way. She corners me in church chapel because Chinese school, it's at another church, not our church. So we went to two churches on Sunday. We're in chapel, and Trisha decides to tell me that I'm hot. Trisha smells amazing, and she herself is hot, but I think she was 2 years older than me, maybe 3 years older than me. So she had some strong babysitter vibes. Have I told you about getting an erection in front of my babysitter? I am actively telling Trisha no, but my body is saying yes. My body's saying yes. It wasn't as embarrassing as the French bathroom, but it was pretty embarrassing. This is how to do a turnaround where you go from, oh my God, I'm getting so embarrassed, to, to, hey, Larry, what if you picked up trash to help a company duck bankruptcy? You're talking as if, yeah, but remember, I got to go back to Chinese school with her baby girl sister, Julie. Like, I'm, I'm, what am I going to do? New Larry would have
been, New Larry would have just been like, okay. So, Chinese school. I want to say not even 2 years later, I'm in square dancing class as a freshman. Square dancing for gym class was the best, most difficult class to get because in gym class, there were mandatory showers, full naked showers. Yeah, Phil Lawler was probably a pedo. Probably. Definitely weird to make people take a nude soap shower, right? Yeah. So, gym class. Whether or not you sweat or not, you had to take off all your clothes and take a shower with the gym teacher, Phil Lawler, checking your name off to be, did you take a shower in the nude? Okay, that's weird, but whatever. The best class to take for gym class is square dancing because square dancing, you don't have to change into gym clothes. You can wear your street clothes for square dancing. Here's the problem is that freshman boys pick last. You see, gym class, it worked like a reverse lottery. Senior girls picked first, senior guys picked second. Junior girls picked third, junior boys pick fourth. If you don't know what a senior junior is, American high school, it's freshman first year, sophomore second year, junior year third year, senior year is fourth year. And then you repeat that same process in college. It's confusing to Asian and European people because we use sophomore for high school and sophomore for college, which is why when Stanford kids get asked, hey, I'm about to give you $2 million. By the way, how old are you? You say this phrase to obfuscate how old you are, which is, I fondly remember my sophomore year. I fondly remember my sophomore year. You could be a sophomore and you could say, I fondly remember my sophomore year. I think I might have peaked. Because that's kind of what I say, because it's kind of true. I peaked sophomore year at the University of Illinois. Peaking at University of Illinois. Officer in my fraternity, played on the baseball team, worked at the Daily Illini as the number one salesperson, started a business that made 9 figures called Duck Nine, engineering school, barely surviving, and then 2 or 3 other things that I forget about. Oh, started a class selling physics notes that got me a temporary monopoly because the physics professor gave me a trademark, a intellectual property transfer instead of expelling me for selling illegal notes. I was selling notes in how to prepare to ace every week's physics exams, physics quizzes. You got 8 quizzes. There was not enough time to do all 8 quizzes, so you had to solve 3 or 4 of them. I solved all 8 and then sold each week's of notes for $80, $10 a quiz. If you don't buy the notes, you are screwed. So I'm at the life crossroads of helping. Hey, I fondly remember my sophomore year. So, freshman in gym class, we pick dead last. We pick dead last because sophomore girls pick fifth, sophomore guys pick sixth, freshman girls pick seventh. I'm dead last, lowest on the totem pole. Guess who decides to +1 me into square dancing? They didn't know I was a freshman. Square dancing already had 36 people or 48 people, whatever the number was. Whatever the number was. So I get into square dancing freshman year. It's like scoring a coup. It's like UTSA ended up beating Stanford baseball, University of Texas, San Antonio. And you should probably go back because UTSA, doesn't that school cost like $1,500 a year? You know what? Never mind. I think you like the number 0. Aren't you in Canada now? Why have you not sold one Limitless? So, freshman year, freshman year. I'm the only freshman in square dancing. I'm the only freshman. Square dancing was actually pretty fun because there were senior girls teaching square dancing. They permanently had street clothes for gym class where they got to scam teaching square dancing. That was their gym class. Oh, it was all hot girls teaching senior girls. It was all senior girls teaching square dancing. As a freshman guy, I'm like, I think I died and went to heaven. This is amazing. And people are like, are you a transfer? I'm like, what's a transfer? You see, I think I was like 6'3" already. I had a full mustache because Tom and Carol thought that it'd be a good idea for their kid to not shave because, puberty comes slower. What? Keep in mind, my parents went to good schools. They just believed in old wives' tales of if we just let our son shave later, he's going to hit puberty less hard. In American puberty, it hits different. It might be because of the bovine growth hormone. It might be because of the chemicals in the food. It might be because America just makes you have wood all the time because you're in America. The arc, the arc has been, the arc has been arced, which is coming full circle, which is coming full circle, getting banned again. It hurts me to exile you, but it's the same character arc every time. It's self inflicted self damage. I'm going to miss you. That hurt me way more than it hurt you. That hurt me way more than it hurt you. I need you attending every room. I need you for that. But but you've been to too many YouTube lives with Larry Chang. There's a runway, and then when you're past the runway, you're starting to do damage to your own brain by just turning your brain into a vaginal pretzel. That's why I had to send you off because Columbity CM and the 10 other usernames, that hurt me 10 times more than it hurts you. Why don't you do chapter 11? Why don't you do chapter 11? Hashtag CHA 11 SXP. Do you see how each chapter has a slightly different variation where it's CHA 11 SXP? Instead of you trying to moderate my topic, why don't you answer the question of, can you make $100 using a $90,000 class at Stanford that you get for $0? Because right now you can't sell $90,000 for $145. Because true story, that class at Stanford, that shit's open source. The textbooks, they cost like $3 because we wanted to democratize education, and then it only made rich people richer. And I know I shouldn't laugh because poor people are like, I want to be rich, but that's why I had to send Columbity on his way, because he was starting to resent me for telling him some super basic stuff. I know, $3. That's how much it cost for me to get into Stanford. I bought a $3 book and I read it. People hate me for that. People hate me for that. Let's talk about comedy. Have you not been laughing this whole time? Talk to the starfish. I'm in gym class. It's my freshman year. My parents don't let me shave. I'm rocking a mustache. People are asking me, hey, are you a transfer? I'm like, what's a transfer? My square dancing teacher, because there are all these new square dancing moves. This is why it's such a scheme scam gig to teach square dancing, because there's always a new move to learn. You need to show the new move. So, this hot girl, we'll call her Renee. She's a senior. She looks amazing. Normally, I don't go for short hair, but she pulls off short hair. Her friend Tracy, she's even better looking. Tracy is blonde hair with big boobs. That's her best friend. Renee is just super cool and super pretty. She says, hey, stand up. We're going to teach you a new square dancing move. So she holds my hand and does some square dancing thing. Holding hands with her was pretty much like having sex. Pretty much. Because I'm a freshman. Basically, I'm 13. Renee is pushing 18. She's easily a woman. Remember what happened to me 2 years before when I was 11. I'm like, oh my God, this is actually a person that's my age, or at least near my age. She's holding hands with me. I pretty much almost have an orgasm. Do you know how embarrassing that is to do that American Pie climax scene? Renee takes that as that I like her. She proceeds to constantly use me as an example for square dancing. So she would touch my hands and it would immediately have a chemical reaction. Oh, we're do-si doing. Larry the Starfish, timed you out. Come back better. Come back better. Are you Indian? It's okay if you are. All are welcome. All are welcome. Come back better after your timeout. So we're in square dancing. Her friend Tracy, the one who's got blonde hair and big boobs, she's trying to make fun of me by saying that her friend Renee shouldn't like me. And I'm like, she likes me? And everyone in the class is like, how do you not know? This is when people are like, oh, are you a senior transferring in? I'm like, what's a transfer? What's a transfer? So she goes, hey, do you want to go to a dance with me? I'm like, I'm going to have to ask my parents. And she's like, ha 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 ha, ha. You must be joking. You wanted family friendly. You wanted family friendly. You wanted family friendly. You wanted family friendly. Don't get angry that my starfish is cute. Don't get angry. You could try to get angry for it. So, the dance that she wants to take me to is fucking prom. My parents were like, no, you're not going to prom. They didn't even know what prom was. My friend Ethan, who was 1 year younger than me, yeah, he goes, you should totally go to prom. And he's like, just say that you're sleeping over at my house and then you can borrow my clothes because you needed like a sport coat, a tie. At prom, people are like, you're so creepy to come to a high school prom. And I'm like, what do you mean it was creepy to go to a high school prom? And they're like, do you even go to high school? I'm like, yeah, I'm a freshman. And people thought that I was a freshman in college. So everybody was like, you have a mustache. Obviously, you're in college or older. I'm wearing Culver Military Academy. It's the same jacket as college jacket because the military academy is whatever, preschool to college. And I know that that's funny because who sends their kid to kindergarten military academy? Everybody told me that I was not a freshman. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm a freshman. I'm a freshman. I didn't know that in college it was also called freshman. I had no idea what a sophomore was. I had no idea what a sophomore was. People kept on saying sophomore, sophomore, sophomore. I'm like, what is that? I barely knew what a junior was. I just knew freshman and I knew senior. I was retarded. I was retarded. And then I would ask questions because I looked super smart. People would be like, ha 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 ha. I'm like, what? I was confused the first 20 years, if not longer, which is why I learned to ask really, really good questions because no one ever thought that they were stupid. They would just ignore me. Going to prom freshman year was the most eye opening thing because people don't know how old other people are. Most people have no idea about age anything. They just ask you what your age is, and then they don't believe you, and then your age is massively in flux. But this is also the other thing is that I didn't think that girls had feeling in their stomach because I thought when we were dancing she didn't know that I was happy to be dancing. I found out 7 years later, I found out after college that women had feeling in their neck and throat area because I had no idea. I thought that it was tucked into the elastic waistband. I thought it was tucked. I thought it was my secret to hide. I thought it was my secret to hide. This is what's on the other side of being embarrassed is now I can just rock an erection at a bar with people who are older than 22, younger than 23. Why? Because you can cry in public so long as you don't rub your eyes. People can't read anything. They can't read your expressions. If you're dying of a heart attack, people can't see other people. This is why, on the other side of being embarrassed, we can truly be present and we can be present. We can be present. Our phones, they're they're an they're an opiate. They're an opiate. Our phones are meant to try to mitigate anxiety, and like an antidepressant drug, it ends up making you more anxious and more useless and more poor. What else are we going to do to increase our EQ, our emotional quotient? Sophomore year, because I went to senior prom, the junior girls anointed me the it guy. So I kind of peaked sophomore year in college, but I peaked sophomore year in high school because junior girls, Sheila Sevening, Elaine Wisnowski, Missy Mounts, Kim Stanley. Ooh, I know. I know. I fondly remember my sophomore year. What are we going to do to get ourselves to try to go from zero sales to sell one? What are we going to do? What are we going to do to get over the embarrassment of temporarily maybe hearing a no? Or, oh, Larry, will you make me a moderator so I can borrow your confidence? Why won't you write CHA11 SXP? I mean, why is your mind wired to not win? I mean, you do a great job kissing ass, okay? You do a great job with that. But that's not what's going to get you to level up. That's not going to level you up. Why are you embarrassed to try? Why are you embarrassed to try? How many videos have you? And I felt you butt pucker when I banned the other dude who was a super fan. And I'm not all about trying to hurt people that are fans. I'm just saying there's a certain point where you understand enough where now you're starting to over understand and overthink. How did you feel when Calamity was exited out? How did you feel? Because what we're doing here is we're risking embarrassment that isn't even that embarrassing. I mean, I'm not saying, actually, I am saying that. I am saying on a date, have a bowel movement. have a BM. I am saying that. Larry, if I follow your advice, oh, so if you're in a happily committed relationship, just go ahead and drop a giant deuce with the door open. Relationship advice from a single guy named Larry Chang. Cool that you're happily in a relationship. Cool that you want family friendly content. What about dropping a family friendly food baby? Or are you like one of those super useless people who has to go into a special corner of the house, have full privacy, and all the conditions need to be perfect in order for you to sit there on your throne for 18 minutes and drop a deuce? I'm going to be dropping that much genius, and and that's what you're going to ask. there are there are there are bad questions to ask. There are bad questions to ask. Why don't you start by telling me yours? It was a short timeout, and that was kind of funny. Come back knowing that all are welcome. Come back knowing that all are welcome. All are welcome. Bojack is now back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So I went ahead and I diagnosed your character compass. I went ahead and did some research. When you're doing research, you want to realize that I was not meaning to embarrass Sarah Park, Lisa Kim, or is it Lisa Park, Sarah Kim? I did not mean to embarrass them. Nope. Or maybe, I don't even know. The 11SXP is wrong. It's CHA11SXP. Duck D's, fuck those, okay? Yours, which is easy, is hashtag mushy mushy mushy. That's your hashtag. Oh, see? Yeah. That's because you're uh, anally retentive. That's not good. Yeah, see? You got to do it the fan on. See, the way that you're doing it is you would be constipated to death if you had to go to prison. This is, are you black? Because this is actually a problem that I fix for professional black athletes. You see, you couldn't deuce it in a JW Marriott because the NFL, it makes you have a roommate. So if there's another person in the room, you wouldn't be able to deuce it out. This is why women just explode. This is why women just explode because they never fart, and then their gastrointestinal tract is a disaster because they're like, "Oh, I had gas." When your body has gas, that's not good. It's your body sending you a signal that your gastrointestinal tract is fucked up. By taking a drug to mitigate gas, that drug fucks you up even more. How family friendly is this? It's hyper family friendly because the drugs that you're taking are actually doing the opposite of the intended result. There you go. There you go. That's good. Did we do a Q&A? Do you live in San Diego? It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's your hashtag. And I'm temporarily going to make you a moderator. Temporarily. But guess what? You get to stay a moderator when you make $800. What is wrong with you, dude? What is wrong with you? You aced that perfectly. That's embarrassing. Hey, everybody. Duck D's knows fluent Chinese. Look at that. Do you know how hard it is to ace mushi, mushi, mushi? That is basically a Chinese guy saying, fuck you very much. How do Chinese people say fuck you? They give you money and they're like, fuck you. How friendly is this? It's super friendly because you have not ever been to a YouTube live where I'm actively trying to sell you a $0 business recipe. It's called, Can You Memorize 3 page numbers? You guys, everybody, watch this trick. Tell me the 3 page numbers that you memorized. Everybody, Mushi 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 is Chinese school because Julie Chang's mom, Mrs. Chang, Trisha Chang's mom, Trisha Chang, she made me memorize 3 paragraphs. We had to memorize 3 paragraphs in fucking Chinese and write it out in Chinese. You guys can't even write 1 paragraph in fucking English. Think about that. The number of languages I'm fluent in are about 30 because I do computer programming, but the primary language I'm fluent in is Larry Changese. What's Larry Changese? Duck D's, tell me the page. See, look at that motherfucker acing the page numbers, acing page numbers, yet somehow can't remember the play, called Sell Them a Book for $800. Mushi, mushi, mushi. You see, the reason that 100% of Chinese people are successful 100% of the time is we know how to mushi, which is I can memorize 3 paragraphs. Right now, Web 12, people can't write 12 sentences. For example, Duck D's. Duck D's cannot write 12 sentences to save his life. I'm not saying memorize 3 paragraphs of Larry Chang content. I mean, I am saying that, but you can have a cheat code called memorize a cheat sheet called my hashtag. You see, when I say the word hashtag, some of you guys get intimidated because you don't think that an exclamation point works. But that's because your brain is on default pussy mode. You don't want to have the $ come after the 3,000. It's fuck you enough to make it $800. When you have it 3,000, you're trying to not sell it because you're trying to be funny because you've been smoking too much pot. You should quit smoking pot. CBD rots your brain. Mushi, mushi, mushi. Why won't you email me 12 sentences per Larry Chang video? If you emailed me 12 sentences per video, you would probably make at least $1. There you go. That's how I knew how good is my CRM, my crowd reading management. Duck D's is addicted to pot too. Do I look like I'm addicted to pot? I'm addicted to the best drug in the world. I'm addicted to the best drug in the world. Page 344. What's on page 344? It's CRM software. You see, you don't see. Now you see. It's mushi, mushi, mushi. Everybody should memorize how to spell that. And maybe you don't think it's very valuable. Maybe you don't think it's on page 344 of Jim Quick's book. People that think that DMT are retardee. Have you taken retardee before? Oh, wait, you're on retardee right now. Do you guys know about retardee? Retardee is when your brain's addicted to dopamine, addicted to porn, doing CBD. Retardee. Retardee. I recommend that you write a book on memory. I recommend that that book be called Mushi Mushi Mushi, because right now everybody's taking this drug. It's called retardee. How does anybody not laughing at that joke? That's hilarious. Retard retardee maxing. Mu maxing. The problem with taking DMT is that those little hobgoblins and demons that you see, everybody sees the same demons. Maybe instead of trying to succeed in dimension number 8 or dimension number 9, you should stop doing retardee. Why are everybody's DMT trips the same? Maybe you're opening up a dimension into Lucifer's realm. There you go. There you go. Maybe you should close that door. Would you like to buy a Bible for $800? Then you'll be that annoying as fuck Christian guy who decides to randomly drop a prayer. Father Lord, Father Lord. Maybe people who are addicted to retardee can replace their addiction with, I'm addicted to Jesus. I'm addicted to Bible study. You want to come to my Bible study? Actually, I want to sell a Bible and then invite people to Bible study. Jesus, Lord, thank you for a healthy brain. Thank you for a healthy brain that is chemical free. Thank you, Lord, that L-theanine on page 344 is in green tea. Lord, thank you for helping me become the number one American in America. Lord, thank you for Caucasian dudes selling me green tea called Davidson's. Lord, thank you for my starfish named Larry and my other starfish named Larry. Thank you, Lord, for being able to sell one starfish named Larry that we buy from our friend Jeff for less than $10, where we sell one starfish for $800 and then sell it, buy one for 8 or 6. Lord, thank you for Julie Chang and Trisha Chang's mom, Mrs. Chang. Thank you for Mrs. Chang taking me out to a movie at an AMC theater one weekend after my mother died. Thank you for Mushi Mushi Mushi. Thank you for the attention of females. I will try to steward that attention to create wealth and abundance. Please, Lord, also thank you for not having all those really hot girls rape me, because I'm only willing to go to third base with my pinky and then dates 9 through 18, my index finger. Lord, say hi to my dog Baxter. Lord, can you find Augie Garrido? Can you find Augie Garrido? He's already there with you? Cool. Augie, you're motherfucking welcome. I'm starring in a biopic, a biology picture. Biology. I know. Smartest person in Silicon Valley, juxtaposing biology and biography. An Augie Garrido biopic. You see, getting Matthew McConaughey to play Augie Garrido, that's too cliche. He'd want to do it too badly. Fuck that guy. right? Lord, fuck that guy. So good looking, so talented. Is he a Christian? I pray that Matthew McConaughey has a nice Christian walk with you. Because, Father, Lord, Hollywood, it's kind of pedo. What if I were to star in a movie called Augie Garrido, Inning by Inning? Or just call it Inning by Inning? Because who is best at imitating Augie Garrido in front of Augie Garrido? Who is best? Who did the best Augie Garrido imitations? Ooh, maybe I should get a 3-bedroom condo, a 2-door Mercedes, and live like a baller in down. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I know, Lord, I hope this prayer was entertaining. If other people have never prayed before, I know you can have a fun prayer. We can do a fun prayer. Father, Lord, also, thank you for people's vulnerability. I know it's sometimes embarrassing to admit that they're overweight and depressed out of their mind and that they come here for a little bit of positivity. Because I asked one person, okay, thanks for being honest, what nonfiction book do you own? Thinking that they're going to say some fruity book like The Road Less Traveled or some fruitcake book, Who Moved My Cheesecake? Or a antiquated book that talks about Richard Nixon and Martina Navratilova, what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. But instead, they said the Bible. I'm like, what? That's a nonfiction book that you own? Okay, the Bible. And because of Bible, we're selling a Bible. And because of Bible, we did a sequel to Two Girls, One Cup of Knowledge. We did a sequel to One Guy, Three Books. We did a sequel called Three People, Two Bibles, because I cold open Yahtzeed a couple that had two Bibles. And when I prayed with them, everyone's vagina got wet because they're like, oh my God, the hot supermodel Chinese guy, he's also a Christian. Swing! Do you know how hard it is to work swing into my Bible bingo card? Do you know how hard that is? Lord, please take my giant big dick energy and route that BDE into making people curious about Jesus, better able to manage their penis. I know. Check that off the prayer bingo card. In Jesus' name we pray. And if this is the first time you've prayed and your eyes are open closed, there's no right or there's no right or right way to do it. I can't even say wrong because it's not so wrong. It's so right. Jesus, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh my God, that was funny. Get it? Because I'm so thankful that you thought I was going to say thank you, but then I said you're welcome because as if you need me to do anything for you, you're Lord. But seriously, you're welcome. You're fucking welcome. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I think I nailed that, dude. I think I nailed that. Like, I think I nailed that. No, I'm Leo. No, I'm Leo. Ron's going to totally pull a Scott Adams and he's going to not be Christian, not be Christian, not be Christian. He's going to look up at the shot clock in the year 2081. He'll be like, you know what? I prayed that prayer. I believe in Jesus. And then he'll just slide in like the ninth inning. 99%, 99.8% of your life lived. Oh, yeah, I believe in Jesus. You know, there's only upside, right? There's only upside. And then Jesus is going to see Ron and be like, fucking Larry Chang fucking sent you, didn't he? That fucker sends more people. How's that guy doing? How's that Larry Chang doing? Ron, you know you're going to do that. You're fucking welcome. Ron, come on, that was funny. Me telling Jesus that instead of thank you, because I was thankful, but then I wanted to make it funny. What is comedy? It's the interruption of the expected, where Jesus is like, yeah, 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 I've heard these prayers before, bored out of my mind. Whereas my prayers, Jesus is on the edge of his seat looking for his iPhone 270 to be like, hey, 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 I got to record this prayer. I got to record this prayer because this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing, kind of like this video. I'm going to embarrass him. I want to embarrass him because what did I say? Schwing. Oh, yeah. Do you know how hard it is to say schwing? That's like talking about your penis during a prayer. That's like talking about your own penis during a prayer. That's like talking about a penis during a prayer. True story. I'm on spring break. I just became a single digit millionaire. I am a sophomore in college. Junior? It's early. It's junior college, not junior college. I didn't go to Stanford, Leland Stanford Junior College. Junior year, I decide to take spring break during school because I'm thinking about dropping out for a 350th time. Why? Did I tell you I was miserable in engineering school? Have I told you that I was miserable? My GPA was too low to go to med school or business school. I needed to be rich. Goal set, goal met. Within a year of making a goal to be a millionaire, I was a millionaire. I was checking my balance on an airplane. It was probably going to cost me a shitload of money to to see if I had a balance of seven figures. I am on a spring break on my own going to Vail, Colorado to visit Colorado State University and to ski with friends. When I found out I was a millionaire, I cried. I cried. Every man who makes his first $1 million cries. My grades actually became better because before college, it would be nine figures. And if you're shitty at math, that's 180 more millions. My grades actually got better. My GPA got higher, and I fucked fewer women. Is that family friendly enough for you? Feels like it is. Why? Because guys like me would go bankrupt if I went on a 9 to 12 female per week bender, because that would no longer be a bender. That would just be 2.5 per day. That would just be 2.5 per day. I slept with fewer than 2.25 in 4 years. Let me repeat that math because people can't quite grasp it, because you'd think I'd be pulling down at least two per week, 2.25 per week, right? At least that. At least that. Because freshman year, college, I'm hanging out with Phi Mu. Phi Mu. That's a sorority. So my homework assignment is, who's still in here? Who's still in here? Comment one period if you're still in here. I need to know who we're connecting to because I'm about to dole out some Easter eggs. Who's still in here? What has been the memorable thing of this video? What has been the memorable thing of this video where you can take that knowledge and financially get better without risking any money? If you want to work on your memory, it's chapter 13, Limitless, because that's why you sell the book for $800 because people are going to make fun of you. This is one person, three books. Two girls, one cup of knowledge. It's funny, it's useful. One guy, three books. It works every time. Somebody will ask a question and you'll say, I want to say, and you pick one of the three numbers 62, 64, or 67. Yeah, good job editing yourself. If I grow a mustache. If I just wear a cowboy hat like Larry, everything will just work out for me. It's when somebody asks you a question, you answer that question by pretend trying to pull out one of the three numbers from out of your butthole, which is 62, 64, or 67. What you're doing is you're front running people's questions. Question: is that the coolest cowboy hat in the world? Oh, thanks. Normally you think it's $150. They sell it at my friend's website. What is that website called again? It's something like Argentinian themed. It's a river. Amazon. They sell it on Amazon. My friend Jeff sells it on Amazon. That's how I deliver that joke. And then they're like, haha, what are you, a comedian? And then I say, well, you asked if I was a comedian, and I want to say page 67. I want to say page 67. I want to say page 67. And then you read them page 67. Oh, asking high quality questions is the way, the truth, and the way to make money. And then people are like, oh my God, because you open a page 67, quoting page 67. And then you have a piece of paper in your wallet. It says, first person to say audiobook loses. Because then people are like, oh my God, is that your book? And then you're like, is that my book? Is that my book? I want to say that's 62, which is stop asking stupid questions. Do I look like Jim Quick? And then they're like, tell me how you're doing this. Because every time they talk, you have a page number. Every time a person talks, my pastor has a correlated biblical passage. You could just use AI to do this, but your AI now, your AI American intelligence. So when you're the AI, people then say, oh, are you rich? Oh, is this what you do? Is this what you do? Which is fuck around and get free food? I'm doing stand up right now, dude. I'm doing stand up right now. And stop saying that I'm microdosing acid because somebody didn't read chapter 12 Joe Dispenza, the pineal gland. You see, you think I'm on drugs because my brain is percolating a perfect cocktail of everything you say turns into a page number. There's this movie, you can watch it. It's called Limitless. Bradley Cooper can get into any girl's pants because he has an orgasm in her brain with his brain. It's limitless. Even though it was very spammy, even though it's just a quick 10-second timeout. So there is no pill to take like there was in the movie Limitless. There's a book to read. When people ask you, oh my God, are you on some ADD drug right now? Your brain's amazing. You then quote another chapter called Chapter 12, Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. I'm not going to say that I made $250,000 in Las Vegas at the Super Bowl at the Cosmopolitan Hotel because it was more. You see, I didn't know I was doing one guy to two books. I had 3 books because book club, David Kirkpatrick. It was 13 to 15 people, 60 to 90 books. He lugged 90 books around in a suitcase and he did book club for 13 to 15 people. I didn't want to carry that many books. I was going to do book club at a nightclub with just one book, 4 guys. Then we did book club at a nightclub, 2 books, 4 guys. The only people who would get massive action would be the person touching the book, because women would look at the guy with the book and say, oh my God, you must be rich. Do you know how to read? Because nobody knows how to read right now. The bar is so low. Limitless. You just plug in.
Limitless. When someone says, oh my God, your brain, it's limitless, are you taking that drug? Are you at least on nootropics? You then say, chapter 12, chapter 12, chapter 12. Look at how many people are asking, what drugs are you on right now, brother? What drugs are you on? I'm on the drug called H2O. I'm on the drug called chapter 12, Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza. He's at a conference that Dave Asprey was doing. Who's Dave Asprey? Dave Asprey has this conference. It's called, yeah, I realize the sound sucks, but I'm raw dogging right now. He has a conference. It's called Silicon Valley Health Hacking. Then it became Biohacking, May 27 to May 30 of 2026. It's called Beyond. During late May 2025, I meet Joe Dispenza, who's a keynote speaker for Dave Asprey. Those hobgoblins, everybody sees the same hobgoblins. That's why you don't need to see the same hobgoblins. Because I'm the goblin that's not a goblin. I'm the Larry Chang. You taking DMT, you're going to miss this wild roller coaster. How many people have been to a prior Larry Chang YouTube Live? It's way more trippier of a trip than you've ever been on. Dave Asprey, Joe Dispenza. We're at the VIP dinner. Guess who rolls in a VIP dinner not eating dinner? Joe Dispenza. I go over to say hi to him, waiting patiently. And I said, Joe Dispenza, hi, I'm Larry Chang. I read your books, Evolve Your Brain. I also read the book, You Are the Placebo. But surprisingly, the best book is not Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Surprisingly, the best book is Becoming Supernatural. He was like, oh my God, what are you, limitless? I'm like, no, I'm just a fan. Those 9-day workshops, those 6-day workshops for $9,000, those are genius. Can I be in a selfie with you? He's like, yeah, you can also be in a selfie and then come to any of my shit that you want to for free. He said this in front of people. Everyone else is like, what? It's sold out? You won't even take $9,000? Right in front of their face, he goes, yeah, if you want to come to one of them, like, let me know and I'll comp you. Right in front of 10 people. I'm like, I'm not gonna have to speak, am I? I'm just a student. He's like, can we get you to speak? What? I just said no. But do you see how by me saying no, he was saying yes? Limitless. You want to guess what people ask and then answer those questions and then say, if you could do what I do, would it be worth $1,000? And they're like, yeah. You're like, cool, give me $800. And if you don't make $50,000 for giving me $800, I'll give you your $800 back. Nobody ever asks for their money back because everybody wants to be limitless.